All right, so welcome to this session. Today, we would like to look at the cost of capital and WACC. The cost of capital and then WACC. The WACC is the weighted average cost of what? Capital. Weighted average cost of what? Capital. So what is the cost of capital? So the cost of capital is basically is the percentage return. Is the percentage return firms invested firms investment could earn. Investment could earn if they invest in securities. If they invest in what? Securities with risk, right? So the percentage return firms investment would earn if they invest in securities with risk, right? So that is the cost of capital. All right, so it's the benefit, like the benefit that you earn from your investment. Benefit that you earn from your investment. So there are three main types. So there are three main. We have the cost of debt, the cost of equity, the cost of preferred or preference stock. Cost of preferred or what? Preference what? Stock. Right? Okay. So now, let's take them one by one. Let's take them one by one. So, with the cost of debt, that is the percentage return an investor would earn if he or she invests in debt. If he or she invests in what? In a debt instrument or debt security. He or she invests in a debt security. Example is the bonds, right? So the return you are earning on your bond, right? The return that you are earning on your bond. So you have the before tax cost. The before tax cost, and that is the bond. That is the bond yield to maturity. The bond yield to maturity, right? The bond yield to maturity. And then we have the after-tax cost. The after-tax cost. right? So the after-tax cost will be the yield to maturity, to bracket 1 minus the tax, right? Yield to maturity, to bracket 1 minus what? The tax. All right, so that is the cost of debt. That is the cost of debt. That is the cost of debt. So let's move to the cost of equity. So with the cost of equity, that is the percentage return an investor could earn if he or she invest in common stock, right? If he or she invests in what? Common stock. In common stock, right? Or let's say equity, right? So with the equity, what is the formula for the cost of equity? So the cost of equity is the risk-free plus beta, then the market return minus the risk-free minus the risk-free. So that is the cost of what? Equity. Or we can also have the cost of equity being the D1 over the P0 plus G. D1 over P0 plus what? G, being also another formula to compute the cost of equity. Compute the cost of equity. Then let's move on to the last one, which we'll talk of at the cost of the preferred stock. Cost of the preferred what? Stock. So the cost of preferred stock is the percentage return that an investor would earn if he or she invests in what? Invest in preferred stocks. Invest in preferred what? Stocks. So what is how do you calculate the preferred stock? So yeah, the price we know is what? D over what? The required rate of return. The price of a bond is what? Is a D over what? The required rate of return. So what of the preference, the cost of the preferred stock? So that will be the D. So that is making the R what? The subject. So that will be D over what? Over the P0. D over what? Over the P0. So that is the cost of the preferred what? Stock. Cost of the preferred what? Stock. That is the cost of the what? Of the preferred what? Stock. Okay. So having said this, let's see if we can get an example. Let's see if we can get an example. Okay. Okay. So let's look at these examples. So someone should read this example.
Please, I'm reading.
Okay.
𝒔𝒑𝒊𝒕 has an issue $1 share with a market value of $2.4 per share. A constant dividend of 30 per share has just been paid. What is the shareholders' required return and therefore the cost of equity to the company?
Okay. So this is about the cost of equity, right? So they are saying that they had a market value of 2.4 per share, and then dividend of what 30 cents per share has just been paid, right? So what is the cost of equity, right? The required rate of return, which is the cost of equity. So the cost of equity is, from the information given, we know that cost of equity is the risk-free plus the beta plus the beta into brackets market return minus the risk-free. But here we don't have those information here, so we cannot use that formula. So we can use the and besides this one, it said the dividend has just been paid, right? So if dividend has just been paid, it's like what you have been solving. If dividend has just been paid, then the formula will be D0 over what? Over the P0, which is giving us, what is the dividend? The dividend is 30 cents because it has just been paid. So that's 0.30 all over the, what is the market price of per share, which is, that is 2.40. So what is the cost of equity?
$0.125.
0.1. So that is 12%. The cost required rate of return is what 12%, right? 12%. Then example 2.
T plc has an issue 50-cent shares with a market value of $4.2 per share. A dividend of 40 cents per share has just been paid. Dividends are growing at 6% per annum. What is the cost of equity?
Okay. So the cost of equity from the information given is D0, and they said that dividend is growing at a rate of 6%. So you remember we talked about growing dividend from last week's lecture. So if it's growing, the 1 plus G. So the 1 plus G all divided by the P0, right? The P0. So what do we have? D0 is that is the 40 cents, so that is 0.40, and is growing at a growth rate of 6% to 0.06. All over the price. The price of the share is 4.20. 4.20. So plus G, right? I think I ignored something. Plus G. You know D1 is equal to D0, 1 plus G. Do you know that?
Yes. Yes.
So consider that in the formula earlier I wrote D1 P0. So why am I using this? It's the same as that, right? As G. From the formula. So D1 is the same as D0, 1 plus G. Okay. So I have D0 is how much? 40 cents. So 0.40 into bracket 1 plus G. The G is 0.06. And all over what? The P. P0 is how much? 4.2. 4.20. Then plus the G 0.06. So what do you have?
%16.1%.
Okay, is 16.1%. Right. Example 3.
Example 3. UPLC has in issue $1 shares with a market value of $3.6 per share. A dividend of 30 cents per share has just been paid. Dividends are growing at 8% per annum. What is the cost of equity?
Alright, so it's like the first one. So still we have our KE as what? D0, 1 plus G, all over the P0 plus G. So the D0 is what? What do you have? That is 0.30. 1 plus the growth rate is 8%, so 0.08. All over the P, which is 3.60, then plus 0.08. So what do you have?
$0.17.
Yeah, 0.1.
0.17,
0.17.
yes.
So that's 70%. Okay. Yes. Example 4. Yes, example 4. Hello.
Hello.
Example.
Um, okay, sure. Sorry. Example 4. It is now the year 2001, and X PLC has paid out the following total dividends in past years. 1996, it paid 28,000. 1997, 29,000. 1998, 32,000. 1999, 31,000. And 2000, they paid 33,000. Estimate the average rate of growth of dividends per annum.
All right. So here we are finding the growth, right? So what is the formula for the growth rate from last week's lecture? How do you get a growth rate? Or we didn't give a formula for the growth rate. Did we give a formula? This we say that the growth rate is the nth root of the current dividend over the past dividend. Or I didn't give something like that.
No, please.
Or minus 1. Did I give something like this last week?
No, please.
Okay. Or you can see that is the current dividend over the past dividend. Or exponent 1 over n, everything minus 1, right? Or the growth rate can also be this formula. Depending on the information given in the question, we can have the G to be what? The R times B. So this is using the RB model, right? So here where the R is the return on reinvestment. Return on reinvestment. And then the B is the retention ratio. The B is the retention ratio, right? Okay, so from the information given, you can see that we have been given series of cash flows, right? They said this is the cash flow, which is the dividend, right? So they said we should find the growth rate. So we are going to read the formula. So what is the example for? Our G is the nth root of what? We can say the last dividend. Last dividend in the series, right? The last dividend in the series all over the first dividend to make it more simple. Or you can just write the current dividend over the past dividend. Right? Everything minus 1. So what is the last dividend? What is the last dividend?
33,000.
33,000 over the first dividend.
The first one is 28,000.
28,000. What of the n? What will our n be?
Is it 5?
No. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So then it should be 4. So we have 29,000, and then 32,000, and then 31,000, and then 33,000. So from year to year is 1. This one to year 2. From year to year is 3. And from year to year is 4. So that's why we say n minus 1. Right? So some people say n minus what? 1. Right?
Oh, okay.
So, but if you just do it this way, what I've done, I'll give you the exact answer you want. Year to year is 1. From year to year is 2. Year to year is 3. From year to year is 4. Our n is what? 4. N minus 1. I should have left it. So that when you are revising, yes, what's the answer?
0.0419.
0.0419. In percentage terms, what would it
4.19%.
be? So 4.19%. All right. What next? That's all. And move to example 5.
Example 5. Y PLC pays 40% of earnings each year and requires a return of 20% per annum on reinvestment. What is the expected growth rate in dividend?
Right. So this one is also asking us of what? Of the equity rate. But from the information given, are we given any cash flows? You can see that there's no cash flow, but the action of the equity rate. So I gave 2 formulas. For the growth model, I gave 2 formulas. I said the return on reinvestment and the retention ratio. Yeah, they said it pays 40%, right? So 40% is the payout ratio. So yeah, 40% is the what? Is the payout ratio. The payout ratio is for the dividend. The payout ratio is 40%, right? So what is the retention ratio? What is the retention ratio?
60%.
60%. You've made dividend of 100%, and you've paid out 40% to the shareholders. The retention ratio for the remaining ratio will be 60%. That is the 100% minus the 40%, right? So this is our B, right? This is our B. Then what is the return on the reinvestment? It said requires a return of 20% per annum on reinvestment, right? So return on reinvestment is how much? That is 20%. So then what will be our growth rate? The growth rate is the R times the B. And that is the 20% times the 60%. What we have?
12%.
So that's giving us 12%. Example 6.
Example 6. ZPLC has an issue $1 shares with a market value of $2.8 per share. A dividend of 20 cents per share has just been paid. Earnings per share. A. Estimate the rate of growth in dividends. B. Estimate the cost of equity. And C. Estimate the market value per share in 2 years.
Okay. So here, the market value. What is the market value? The market value is the price, right? So the market value P0 is what? It's given as 2 C's 2.8, right? $2.8 per share. Dividend of 20 cents per share has just been paid. Earnings per share were 32%, right? So what's the earnings per share? The earnings per share, which is the profit, is 0.32, right? 0.32. That is the 32 cents. Then how much is the dividend? Dividend is 20 cents. Dividend is 20 cents. So the dividend has a D0. It has just been paid. Just been paid means D0. Just been paid is what? D0. And that is 20%. And 20 cents. 20 cents. So that's 0.2. What else? So how do we get a retention ratio? What retained earnings? The retained earnings. We have a profit. Out of the earnings per share, we have paid dividend of 0.2. So what is the remaining amount? That is the retained earnings. How much is it? That will be 0.32 minus 0.20, right? Out of the profit, we pay dividend of 0.2. So the remaining is the retained earnings. And that is how much? 0.12. Then what else? The company is able to invest so as to earn a return of what? 15%. So that is the return on reinvestment. That is the return on reinvestment. For the return on reinvestment, 15%. Return on reinvestment is about 18%. So the return on investment is 18%, right? So now how do we get our growth? A. The growth is what? R times B. So what is the R? Return on investment is 18% times the what? And the retention what is the retention ratio? Retention ratio would be the retained earnings is 0.12 out of the total profits, right? Now give us the ratio because retained earnings is 0.12 out of the total. The total is 0.32. So that will give us how much?
6.75%.
6.75 percent. 6.75%. Or we can say, what is the payout ratio? You can do it this way. Payout ratio. What's the payout ratio? So the payout ratio is the dividend over what? Over the earnings per share. Dividend over the earnings per share. That will give us the what? The payout ratio. Because we are paying the dividend. So the dividend over the earnings per share. The dividend is 0.2 over the earnings per share, which is 0.32. What do we have here?
0.625.
We are having 0.625. Now, how do we get a retention ratio? If we are paying 0.625, the remaining is the what? Is the retention. The retention ratio. What's the retention ratio? 1 minus 0.625. What is that giving us?
0.375.
0.375. All right. So from here, we can calculate our growth. The growth will be what? The return on reinvestment. So return on reinvestment is 18%. And the retention ratio. What is the retention ratio? 0.375. So what do we have?
6.75%.
6.75%. So I can see that it is given as the same one. So either go by the first approach, or if this one is simple for you, go by this. Which one do you like?
The first one.
The first one is easier.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so what's the next question? The B.
Estimate the cost of equity. Cost of equity.
The B is what? Cost of equity. Okay, so the cost of equity, which of the formula will hold here? Which of the turbulence we hold here? Is it the D1 over P0 plus G, which is equal to D0 1 plus G over P0 plus G. So D0, dividend has just been paid. How much is 0.20? 0.20, then 1 plus G. What is the growth rate? 6.75%. Right, so in decimals, what would that give us?
0.0675.
0.0675. All over what? All over the market price. What is the market price? 2.8. Then plus what? 0.0675.
%14.38.
14.38. Okay. Then C.
Estimate the market value per share in 2 years' time.
So estimate the market value per share in 2 years' time. Oh, okay. So in 2 years' time. So it will not be P0, it will be what? P2. In 2 years' time is what? P2 instead of P0. So P2 will be what? P0. P0, we are growing the P0. 1 plus G exponent 2. Right? So what is the P0? What is the P0?
2.8.
P0 is 2.8. So 1 plus the G. G is what? 0.0675 exponent 2.
$3.19.
$8.19.
Yes, please.
The 3.19 is the what? Is a P2. Price in 2 years time. Price in what? 2 years. Alright, so next, that this is the equity for the equity, right?
Yes,
For the
please.
equity.
Please, I have a question.
Okay.
Please, does it mean that with this formula, does it mean that the price of the share grows in relation to or at the rate at which the dividend grows? That's G.
Yes, we grow it the same way the dividend goes. That's why we are using the. You can see that the price formula is similar to the dividend. Dividend goes from. Yes, next question. Have I answered you?
Yes, please. But then I also have another question.
Okay.
Having the 2 as the exponent for the compounding, how about we find P1? 0. So you grow it from price of year 1 to price of year 2. I don't know if it will work out the same way, because I'm thinking
Your line is breaking up.
of, in situations where, let's say, you've forgotten the formula and you are trying to use your understanding to find.
Could you come again? It's like your line is breaking.
Please, I was asking in relation to the compounding. You see, for this formula we used the 2.
So do you have from this one?
So
So you mean something like this: 2.801 plus G 0.0675.
yes,
So what do you
yes,
get for this? What do you get for this?
989.
989. Is it point or
2.989.
2.989?
Yes, please.
2.989. Okay. So this is P1. If you want P2, we just go P2 is equal to P1 1 plus J. That should give you the same. So P2 is equal to 2.989 1 plus G. G is 0.0675. What is that giving you?
Okay, 3.19.
Yes, to give you the same answer. So instead of going through this, we just put 2 because it's 2.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Let's go to the cost of debt. Let's go to the cost of debt.
Please, should I read the example 1? FPLC has an issue 8% irredeemable debentures quoted at 90% A. 90.
Okay, so before that, let me even add this. So for the cost of debt, before you even read the question, cost of debt. With the cost of debt, we have the irredeemable and irredeemable. Do you remember? For the debt, you have irredeemable and then the redeemable debt?
Yes, please.
So the irredeemable debt, that is K. The cost of debt is equal to minus C is equal to I into bracket 1 minus T all over what? The market value of the debt. Right? How do you get the market value of the debt? The market value of the debt is equal to what? I into bracket 1 minus T all over, you just swap interchange. So that will be KD 1 minus T. KD 1 minus what? 1 minus what? T. Right? KD 1 minus T. So this is the irredeemable. This is for the irredeemable. This is for the irredeemable what? Debt. Right? And you are saying that it uses what? The KD. So cost of debt 1 minus T is what? Is the after tax. The after tax cost of debt. Then the I 1 minus T is what? The after tax interest. That is after tax what? Interest. Or coupon. Or coupon. After tax interest or what? Or then we have the market value of the debt, which is without the market value of debt. Market value of the debt, right? Right. So this is for the redeemable. But the redeemable, that's where we use the what? That's where that one we use the IRR. I don't know if you remember the IRR. Do you remember IRR, internal rate of return? Do you remember IRR? Where we say the L% plus the NPV of the least over NPV of the least minus NPV of the highest, multiplying the highest rate minus the least rate percentage. Do you remember this? Do you remember this formula? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So with the cost of debt, that is how the cost of debt is, right? So you check and see whether it is irredeemable or redeemable, right? So if it's redeemable, that's why you use the IRR. If it is irredeemable, you are going to use the after tax cost of what? Debt. After tax cost of what? Debt. To find the market value of the debt. So now we can go through this question. So we can start.
Example 1. FPLC has an issue 8% irredeemable debentures quoted at 90. A. What is the return to investors? B. What is the cost of the company? What is the cost to the company if the rate of corporation tax is 30%?
Okay. So here it's irredeemable, right? And it's quoted at what? 90 cents, right? This 90 cents. And then they are saying that what is the return to the investor, right? The KD, right? So the investor uses what? The cost of debt, the pre-tax cost of debt. The investor uses the what? The pre-tax cost of debt, right? And then the company will use the after-tax cost of debt. The investor, which is the shareholder, will use the pre-tax of debt. Pre-tax cost of debt. And then the company, so this is investor. The company will use the what? The after-tax. So that is 1 minus T. After tax is 1 minus T. So this is for the company. So for irredeemable. Right? Okay. So now, what is the required? What is the cost of the debt? Cost of debt for the investor. So to the investor, what is the cost of debt to the investor? So to the investor, it will be I all over what? The market value. It will be I all over what? The market value. to the company, we would have added 1 minus T, right? And here to add the 1 minus what? T. But this one is into the investor. So the investor uses the pre-tax cost of debt. The company uses what? The after-tax what? Cost of debt, right? So here it is to the investor. So the investor uses the pre-tax. So what will be the interest? The I is what? What is the percentage given for the interest? 8% redeemable, right? And 8% is on the face value. Face value is what? 100. So what would be? And then you have been given the market value. The market value of what? Quoted as what? 90. It is 90. So what would be the cost of debt?
$0.089.
0.089. So in percentage would be what?
8.9%.
So 8.9%.
Please, why
Okay.
did you multiply by 100?
So why did I multiply by 100?
Yes, please.
Yeah, we want the coupon. How do you get a coupon? For the interest. Is it not the coupon rate times the face value? The face value is always an.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
Yes, so what's the next?
B. What is the cost to the company if the rate of corporation tax is 30%?
This one, is it not 90%? Quoted at 90% PC. It's 90%. What is that giving us?
90%. Oh, okay.
Is it 90%? What is that giving us?
Then we are having 8.8.
8.89.
8.869.
Is it 0.8 point? 0 point what? 8 point. Point what?
9%.
8.89%. The B. Then B says what is the cost to the company if the rate of corporation tax is what 30%? You can see that they've given us the tax. It means that the cost of debt to the company is after tax. That's why they've even given the percent 30%. So because it is irredeemable, that's why you are using the KD. Assuming it's redeemable, you use the IRR. I believe you get the difference. Do you get the difference?
No, please.
Assuming it says irredeemable, that is why you are using the KD. If it's irredeemable, from here, I thought I did that. Irredeemable, use the KD, 1 minus T, and so the 1 minus T is for the company. And then for the investor, it is just the pre-tax without the tax, right? But if it is redeemable, we use the IRR. We use 2 rates, right? That's why we use the two rates. So we look at an example and then you see. So if it's to the company, let me write it down. The B is to the company. B is to the company. So to the company, then it's KD 1 minus T is equal to what? The interest rate or the interest or the coupon. After tax was interest all over the market value of the debt. So if you want to find the market value of the debt, just interchange these two. Just interchange, right? If you want to find the market value, just interchange these two. You are finding the cost and not the market value. Finding the cost and not the market value, right? So here, our cost of cost after tax of debt is equal to the coupon. The coupon is what? 8, right? That is the 8% times 100 is what? Is it not 8?
Yes.
0.03 times 100. It's 8, right? So that is giving us 8. Yeah. 8 into brackets 1 minus the tax. What is the tax?
30%.
30%. So that is 0.3. 30%, 0.3. Is it 0.03 or 0.3?
0.3.
0.3. And then the market value. What is the market value? So what do we have?
$6.22.
Okay. Right, so 6.22. Or in order not to go through this, I mean, because we saw the KD. KD was 8.89%. Can also see that. And the KD 1 minus T is equal to 8.89%. Because we've already gotten the KD from this working. We had the KD to be 8.89%. So to get the after tax, then we just 1 minus tax, 30%, 0.3. That one can also give you, what is that one giving us? Is it giving us the same answer or a different answer? 8.8.
The same answer.
Okay, so you can just do it this way too, than to go through all of this again. So it's 6 point what? 6.22%. Okay, so that is the cost of after tax cost of debt to the company. So note that for irredeemable, we have the calculating the cost of the we have the cost of debt to the investor, which is the shareholder, and the or let's say the investor, because the investor debt is from the debt holders, right? The debt holders. So to the investor and then to the company. To the company uses after tax cost of debt, and then the investor uses what? The cost of debt, right? The investor uses just the cost of debt, and then the company uses the after tax. All right. So let's continue. Example 2.
Example 2. Gene PLC has an issue 6% debentures, quoted at 85%. X something. The debentures are redeemable in 5 years' time at a premium of 10%. What is the return to investors? B. What is the cost to the company if the rate of corporation tax is 30%?
Okay. So here it is a redeemable, right? It is a redeemable. The first one was irredeemable. Take note of that. First one is irredeemable. Irredeemable, we have to the investor, to the company. The investor uses the cost of debt. The company uses after tax. Here it is redeemable. So this is where I was saying that we are going to use the IRR. We are going to use the word IRR. All right. So the first one is saying to the investor. To the investor, so we have to use this format here, the cash flow, the discount factor, and the present value, right? So 6% quoted at 85. The debentures are redeemed in 5 years' time at a premium of what? 10%. At a premium of what? 10%. Okay. So year zero. Year zero is what? Today. Year zero is what? Today. Year zero, we have the debenture. We have a debenture. How much is the debenture? Debenture is quoted at what? 85. So that is the debenture. The debenture, right? And then the debenture, what is the rate that we'll be using? We have been given 6% debenture, right? The debenture are redeemed in 5 years' time. So from year 1 to year 5, at the 10%, which interest rate are you going to use? What is the rate that we use to discount the cash flow? Which interest are you going to use? And which of the interest are you going to use to do the discounting?
Is it 10%? I don't really know. I don't know.
We have at a premium of 10%, right? We have it has been issued at 6%. So here we have been given 10%. So we can use a random discount. We can use a random discount. We have been given the 6%. So let's first of all find the interest. What is the interest? The interest is what? is equal to what? The 6% times 100. That is giving us what? That is giving us 6. That is giving us what? 6. So that is the interest that we'll be using to find it. So from year 1 to year 1 to 5 is what? 6. So let's find the annuity. The annuity for this. From year 1 to 5 is what? Annuity. So let's find the annuity factor. What are we getting? What are we getting? What are we getting for this?
4.21.
Sorry?
4.21.
4.21. 4.21. Okay, so let's do it together. 1 minus 1 plus. What is the rate? What rate did you use? 6%. 0.06. All over there. 0.06. Minus 5 years, right? Did you use 5?
Yes.
So is it giving us? So that's 4.21. Okay. So for this, they're going to use random discounts, right? They're going to use random discounts. That's why I think I'm going to use the IRR, the internal rate of return. The internal rate of return. So give me the 2 discount that we should use. Give me any discount that we should use. The 6%, I use 6%, but I can see that this one is 6%. So someone might be confused that why am I, maybe I'm using this 6%. But let's use, which rate should we use?
10%.
10% is already here. I want to ask to use a rate which is not here. Also, let's say 8%. Let's say 8%. So we are using random rates. So let's use 8%. 8%. 8%. Random rates, 8%. To discount.
Why are we not using the 10%?
The 10% is the premium. We'll come to that. The 10% is the premium. That will be here. For the last year, 10%. 10% of the 100 is giving us what?
10.
10% of 100 is giving us what?
10.
10. So the 10 plus the face value itself, that is at a premium. At a premium means what? You are paying at a premium. So that will be 110. at a discount would be lesser than the face value. At a premium would be higher than the face value, right? So that would be at year 5, at a premium, year 5. So now, with the initial one, it will still be 1. The discount rate will be 1. Because that will be 1 over 1. 1 plus R. R is what? 0.08 exponent 0. What do you have? What do you have? 1 over
1.
1 plus 0. You still get 1, right? Because the exponent is 0. Because the exponent is 0, so you still get 1. So what we are having, the present value is 85. Let me clean this. It has made the work way. Right. So this one we are using what 8% to find annuity. So if using the 8%, to be 0.08. What do we have?
$0.99.
We have what?
3.99.
7.99.
3.99.
And 3.99.
Yes, please.
3.99. Give me three decimal, please. Hello, give me 3 point what?
993.
3.993. Okay. So that is the discount here. That is the rate. So 3.993. Multiply it by the 6. What do you have?
Yes. 23.96.
23.996. And then from here, this we had 110, the premium, right? Because they said that it will be redeemed in 5 years' time at a premium of 10%. So it means the 5th year, note that this is the interest though. Note that this is the interest. I don't know if you remember this formula. When we are finding the market value or the price, the market value, right? We said that it is the, what's the name? What's the name? When we find it, we said see the coupon. Forward. Coupon as the redemption value. Do you remember something like that?
Yes.
Yes. So you calculate the coupon. This is for the coupon. The 6, no? It's annuity. Because you are getting the coupon for how many years? 5 years. So here you are using the annuity formula. But this is a single amount formula. Right? The amount to be redeemed, redemption value. So you are going to use the future value over 1 plus R exponent 10. This is the formula that we use for this one. And here they are saying it is at a premium. At a premium means the face value plus 10. Assuming it is at a discount, it means the 100 minus something. So we get something less than the face value. What I say? So assuming they said it is at a discount, it will be 90%. 90, right? Right? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, it will be 90. This one is at a premium. That's why it's 1. Go and revise all that you have been doing. We just did it last week. So this one we use a single value, right? The single value. So what is that will be what? 1 over 1 plus 0.08. N is what? 5 years. So what do you have?
Zero point six eight.
It is small.
0.681.
So multiply. What are you getting?
$74.91.
74.91.
Yes.
74.91. Okay. So if you add or what are you getting?
$13.87.
You're getting 13.87. 13.7. 13.7. So this is the net present value, right? I'm sure you deducted this one from it, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess it's the net present value. The net present value. So now, consider using the 8%, we are getting a positive NP. So what do we do next? We choose another discount. We choose another discount that would lead to a negative. We choose another discount that will lead to what? A negative. We choose another discount that will lead to what? That will give us a negative NPV, right? That will give us a negative NPV. So which rate should we choose? Should the rate be a higher one or a lower one?
I think a higher one.
A higher one, right?
Yes.
So which rate? We choose 15%. So let's choose 15%. So using 15%, what would be the cash flow? The discount factor will be 15%, and we have the present value. Year 0, the debenture is what? 85. The debenture is 85. The discount factor will be 1. We are going to have the 85. Then the interest, the coupon interest, it will be paid from year 1 to year 5. So that is annuity. The coupon interest is 6% times the 100. That's giving us 6. So we still have our 6. But then what is the annuity discount factor? Using the 15%. So using the 15%, 1 minus 1 plus 0.15, right? Negative 5 years. All over what? 0.15. So what do you have?
3.35.
7.5.
3.35.
Hey, why is that when you say 3, I make it to be 7. 3.35. Give me 3 decimal, please.
3.352.
3.352. So 3.352. Multiply it times this. What do you have?
20.113.
80 points.
20.113.
To 20.11. Then we have at the 5th year to be redeemed at a premium. That is the redemption value. The redemption value is what? At a premium. So it's still at a premium, and that is 1110, right? At a premium. And then that will use the single value 0.15 for 5 years.
Two point 497.
0.497.
0.497.
0.497. Okay, 0.497. 0.497. So you multiply, what do you have?
54.67.
54.67.
67.
Okay. So we're going to sum everything up. We're going to sum everything up. We're going to sum everything up. What do you have?
Negative 10.22.
Negative what?
10.22.
10.22.
Yes, please.
Okay, that is our negative NPV. Negative NPV. So with the negative NPV, we are going to find the IRR, internal rate of return. The internal rate of return. The IRR. So what is the formula? L% plus what? Plus the NPV of the lower NPV all over the NPV minus the NPV or the higher NPV. Everything multiplying the highest rates minus the lowest rates. So what do you have? So what is the lowest rate?
8%.
The lowest rate is 8%, right? I think 8% plus the NPV of the lowest rate. What is the first NPV? NPV we have initially was what? 13.87. 13.87 all over 13.87 minus what? Minus 10.22 brackets close. Highest rate is 15% minus 8%. So what do you have?
%12.03%.
0.03%. So that is the internal rate. That is 12.03%. So that is the what? The internal rate. This one is to the investor, right? What we did is to the investor. And we now come to do for who again? Is it to the company, right? To the company. So to the company. So we are using a random. So here we say 8%. We are using 8%. And then 0, 85, 1, 85. Then we have from year 1 to year 5. From year 1 to the year 5. So we said the company uses the what? The after-tax cost of debt. KD1 minus what? T. Right? KD1 minus T. So we have the KD as what? The interest. Here we had 6, right? We had 6. That is without interest. So to get the interest, that would be 6, 1 minus, what is the rate given?
30%.
30%, 0.3. That's given as 4.2, right? $4.2. So 4.2. Then you find annuity. Find annuity. My battery is running. Find annuity.
$3.993. Hello.
Sir, what are you using?
3.993.
3.993. Okay. And to multiply, what do you have?
16.77.
16.77.
Yes, please.
And at the year 5. What is the premium?
The premium is 10%, so 110.
So 110, right? And then what is the single value? That's what I think we've computed this already. 0.681. 0.68. Multiply, what do we get? Add 74.91. 74.91. So what do you have? What is the NPV?
6.68.
6.68. Using 15%. Using the 15% rate. Year 1. Cash flow. The discount factor 15%. And then the present value. So we still have 0.85. This small question, look at the solution. So 1 to 5. This one is giving us 4. I think the interest rate 4.2. Right? The coupon. The coupon. And so using 15% annuity, what do we get? Annuity 15%. 3.352.
3.352.
3.352. To multiply by this, you have
14.0. 14.08.
And then you have 5 premium. At what? I think 15%. I will do it. Hey, what are you getting?
The discount factor was 0.497.
0.1.
497.
You multiply, what do you have?
54.67.
54 point. Point what?
67. Negative 16.25.
So you find the right. So to find the let's say IRR. So you find the IRR in the house when you go right. Where is the IRR? Okay. So before we close, we are not able to do the work. Wow. You're not able to do the work. You have to plan and add some of the days to it so we can move faster. So for now, before we close, let me give you this. When you are given, you see when we are finding the cost of debt, I gave you the cost of debt for the irredeemable, right? After tax cost of debt. The irredeemable.
Yes.
Where is it? This one. This. This is for the word irredeemable. That is the same irredeemable. To find the cost of debt for the redeemable, if you want cost after tax, I mean the after tax cost of debt, there's a special formula for that. After tax, let me even use red. If you want to find the after tax cost of debt for the redeemable, so let me use red. Let me just go and play the video again and watch everything. Understand it properly. Hey, somebody did relax. I read. Well, I just was the IRR.
This is the IRR 10.04.
Okay, someone has a 10.04.
4%.
10.04%.
Yes.
Okay, so to find the cost of debt after tax cost of debt, for the redeemable. You see the redeemable we said is I, then 1 minus T all over the market value, right? That is for the irredeemable. For the redeemable, let me give you a special formula. There is this formula which is I plus M minus BD all over what M. Everything divided by 2VD plus N divided by B. So this is the formula for finding the cost of debt after tax cost of debt, redeemable debt. I mean, I is the after tax interest or coupon. Then the V here is the price of the bond. The market price, right? The market price of the bond, right? Then the M is the redemption value. Redemption what? Value. Redemption value, right? So from this question, what is the cost of debt? The after-tax cost of debt, right? So from this question, we have 1 minus t is equal to what? Is equal to, what is the interest, after-tax interest? What did we get? After-tax interest, what did we get? Is that right?
To the company.
Right? It's not supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be I, right? This one is 1 minus t after getting the after-tax interest. So we have 4.2. The after-tax interest is what? 4.2. So we said I is the after-tax interest. After-tax interest is what? 4.2. 4.2 plus, what is the redemption value? The redemption value. What is the redemption value? Redemption value is the premium. You remember the premium plus this amount. This is the redemption value. The redemption value plus this one. The redemption value is what? 110. Redemption value is what? 110. Then what is the price of the bond? The price of the bond was what? Quoted at was 85. It's quoted at 85. Then all of this on the number of the period, is 5 years. The 5 years, everything over what? 2 and the value of the debt. The value of the debt is what? Quoted at 85 plus the redemption value. Redemption value is what? 1. And everything divided by what? 3. Everything divided by what? Divided by 3. So this will give us what we have.
Yes, they are still on it.
What do you have?
0.0986. 9.86%.
Give 40%, right?
Yeah,
Percentage.
9.86%.
I can't hear you.
9.86%.
9.86%. The cost of capital to the company. Let me write it in red pen. So this is the cost of debt to the what company. Add the P percentage 5, right? And the A is the A. What did we get? We had 6.22%. So this to the company. Oh, I've already indicated that. No need to write that. Already indicate that. Okay. So on that note, this is where we end here. We're not able to do the work. I'm able to do the work, but then because of time, we'd have to make it another time. So we will do the work and then start a new topic. The next time that we meet. So thank you very much for coming. And have a wonderful